Warm greetings to everyone. Dear students, look at the picture on the screen and guess the topic that we shall discuss today. You will notice here that in this picture a girl with his friend is putting certain objects in water kept in a bowl. You will notice that some of these objects are floating on the surface of the water and some of the objects have settled at the bottom of the bowl. From this picture, what can you conclude? The topic of physics that we will discuss today is flotation and sinking. I know you have guessed the right thing. It is flotation and sinking. Again, in the given picture, you can notice that some of the objects which are lighter, for example, the ball, balloon, empty water bottle, the shuttlecock, they are floating. Whereas in the other picture, you will notice like a big stone, a glass full of water, a big iron ball, they have settled at the base of the container because they are heavier, right? So now let us understand this concept of flotation and sinking with the help of this arrangement. In this arrangement, you can see in a container some amount of water is taken. In the water, a cork is placed and a rock is placed. We can clearly make out the cork is floating on the surface, whereas the rock has sink. What is the reason? Why the cork is floating, the rock is sinking? This is all depending on the densities of different materials. Here, the density of cork is 250 kg per meter cube. Density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. The density of rock is 1200 kg per meter cube. Right? So, we can clearly make out from here that the density of cork 250 is very much less than the density of water, that is 1000. So, the cork is floating. Right? On the other hand, if we talk about stone has settled at the bottom of the beaker as the density of the rock or the stone here is 1200 kg per meter cube, which is greater than the density of water, that is 1000 kg per meter cube. So the flotation of cork is because of the fact that the density of cork is less than the density of water, whereas the piece of rock sinks down at the bottom in water because the density of rock here is greater than the density of water. So I believe you can make a conclusion. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that a body will float in a liquid only if its density is less than the density of liquid, while the same body will sink in the liquid if its density is more than the density of liquid. Let us revise. Density of object is greater than density of liquid, it will belong to flotation case. Density of object is less than density of liquid, it belongs to the case of sinking. Now children, let me ask a question. If an iron nail that has density 7.86 gram per centimeter cube, it is allowed to put in water, then what will happen? Speak your observations. You are pretty sure that this iron nail is going to settle down as shown in the figure. Why so? Because the density of water is 1.0 gram per centimeter cube, which is very much less than the density of this iron nail, that is 7.8 gram per centimeter cube. There arises another question. If the same iron nail is allowed to put into a beaker full of mercury, so what will happen in that case? In that case, the iron nail is going to float on the surface of mercury, because if we compare, the density of mercury is 13.6 gram per centimeter cube, which is very high as compared to the density of this iron nail, that is 7.86 gram per centimeter cube. Dear students, let us have a look at the density table. The density of cork in kilogram per meter cube is 250. The density of wood is 700 kilogram per meter cube. Density of ice is 920 kilogram per meter cube. Density of glass is 1970 kilogram per meter cube. Density of aluminium is 2700 kilogram per meter cube. Density of iron is 7800 kilogram per meter cube. Density of brass is 8400 kilogram per meter cube. Density of silver is 10,300 kilogram per meter cube. Density of lead is 11,500 kilogram per meter cube. Density of turpentine oil is 870 kilogram per meter cube. Density of alcohol is 800. Density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Density of milk is 1030 kilogram per meter cube. Density of glycerine is 1260 kilogram per meter cube. Density of mercury is 13,600 kilogram per meter cube. Dear children, from this density table, we can make out which substance is having greater density and which substance has lesser density. From this density table, we will be able to make out which can float in which medium and which substance can sink in which medium. Let us move forward. Before studying this more, we shall explain about one of the exceptions. The exceptions is of water. So before going to that part, we shall study the anomalous expansion of water. Dear students, you already know about thermal expansion. Thermal expansion says that whenever you heat any substance, on heating the substance will expand, whereas on cooling the substances contract. But opposite happens in the case of water in the temperature range of 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Water contracts on heating from 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius, whereas it expands on heating above 4 degrees Celsius. Because it is an exception, so that is why the case name is given anomalous expansion of water. So the density of water also changes. The density of water increases from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius and then decreases above 4 degrees Celsius. Water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. Now let us talk about the three states of water. Water in solid state is called ice, the density of which is 0.917 gram per centimeter cube. It is due to the fact of anomalous expansion of water, that is, when the ice is allowed to melt through the process of melting or fusion, right? It undergoes anomalous expansion in the temperature range of 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. The water in the liquid state is called liquid water, the density of which is 1.0 gram per centimeter cube. In the gaseous state, the water is called steam or ice, the density of which is 0.00057 gram per centimeter cube. So dear children, this was told so that in the coming part, if we will study that the ice floats on water, you should not question. Why? Because the density of ice is less than the density of water due to the anomalous expansion of water, that it do not obeys the laws of thermal expansion. Let us move forward to understand the principle of flotation. When a body is immersed in liquid, the two forces acts on it. The very first force is the weight, the formula of which is W is equal to mass into gravity. The weight of the body, W, acts always vertically downwards. This force has a tendency to sink the body. Whereas the second force is the buoyant force. Another name of buoyant force is upthrust. The symbol is FB. It always acts vertically upwards. This buoyant force has a tendency to lift the body up, that is, to make the body float. The buoyant force is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the immersed part of the body. This force has a tendency to lift the body up, and to make it float. And it is also known as upthrust, as it is lifting the body upwards. Dear children, in the given picture, you can see that whenever any body is allowed to put into the liquid, the same amount of water is displaced. In the first picture, it shows that a ball is kept in a beaker full of water. This beaker is a Eureka can, and we have already discussed about this in the previous video. When the ball is kept in the Eureka can filled of water, some of the water equal to the weight of the liquid gets displaced and gets collected into the measuring beaker. Afterwards, when you will measure the volume of the liquid, this will come exactly equal to the weight of solid, that is your bowl. Moving on to the second picture. The second picture is telling us that whenever any body is immersed in any liquid or any fluid, right? So two forces act on that body. Downwards, the force of weight acts, which has a tendency to sink the body. Upwards, the force that is known as buoyant force or the upthrust acts, which has a tendency to float the body. Moving on, children, now we shall study the three possibilities that leads to the principle of flotation. The very first picture given here shows that the body is lying at the base of the container. I can say that this is a case of sinking. In this case, the weight of the body W is greater than the buoyant force. In this case, the resultant force on the body is equal to weight minus buoyant force, or you can say weight minus upthrust, that is acting downwards, because here the weight is more than the upthrust. The body will sink into the liquid to the bottom under the influence of the resultant force, that is weight minus upthrust. Let us come to the second picture, children. Second picture, you can see the body is floating in the liquid with the surface just inside the surface of the liquid. In this case, the weight of the body W is equal to the buoyant force or the upthrust. In this case, dear children, the resultant force on the body is 0. That means here the weight acting downwards is trying to neutralize the effect of the upthrust. So the resultant force is 0. Or you can say in another part, the apparent weight of the floating body is 0. The weight of the body will be 0 and the body will float just inside the surface of the liquid. This happens when the density of the solid is equal to the density of the liquid. Moving on to the third picture, children, you can see half of the part of the body is inside the liquid and half part is outside. This is a case where the weight of the body W is less than the weight or the buoyant force acting on the body. In this case, the resultant force acts on the body is vertically upwards. The body will float in the case partially above the surface of the liquid. Only that much portion of the body will immerse inside the liquid, by which the weight of the liquid displaced balances the total weight. You can see here in this picture, you will observe like the total apparent weight is 0, but the resultant weight is not 0. You will feel like it is 0, but actually it is not 0. In this case, the body is trying to put the weight is equal to the upthrust or the buoyant force. Dear children, let us now compare the densities in the case of solids, liquids and gases. We know that solids, the particles are tightly packed, they are rigid, they have a fixed shape and fixed volume. Liquids, the particles are loosely packed, they do not have a fixed shape, they have a fixed volume and they are not rigid in nature. When we talk about gases, the particles are very much far apart. They are not at all rigid, they don't have any fixed shape and no fixed volume. When we talk about density of matter, right, gases are less dense, liquids are more denser than gases, and solid are the densest, depending on the gap between the particles that we call intermolecular space. Moving on, children, let us understand the law of flotation. When a body floats in a liquid, the weight of liquid displaced by its immersed part is equal to the total weight of the body. This is called law of flotation, or you can say law of floating. In this case, the weight of floating body is always equal to the weight of liquid displaced by its immersed part, that is equal to the buoyant force. In other words, dear children, you can say that the apparent weight of the floating body is 0. That means the body tries to make the total weight 0, but actually it is not 0. A body floats with its major portion outside the surface of liquid or higher density than the liquid of lower density. Right, children? So in this first picture, you can see that whenever you are dipping the object inside the liquid, it is displacing the water equal to its own weight. The same was told by Archimedes. Let us do one activity. We are having two identical small blocks of wood. Now we are labeling the two beakers in which the two blocks are kept as A and B. We will take water in the beaker, in the first beaker, and we will take glycerine in the second beaker. In the previous part, we discussed a density table. You all can see from there the densities of both the things, water and glycerine. If you look at the density table, you will notice that the density of glycerine is greater than the density of water. When the density of glycerine is greater, the flotation will be observed more in case of glycerine as compared to in case of water. Though we know that wood is a kind of substance which is going to float on water because it is having the density lesser than the water also and lesser than the glycerine also. The density of wood is 700 kilogram per meter cube, right? So the wood will float in both the cases. But the question is by what amount it is inside the surface of the water and what amount it is outside. In both the cases, if you compare, children, you will find that in the case of water, the wood portion is maximum inside, immersed in the water. But in case of glycerine, as the density is higher, very much higher as compared to water, the much portion will be in contact with air and less portion of the wood will be in contact with the glycerine. So now, children, let us move forward to understand certain cases. The very first case is the flotation of an iron ship. If we take an iron nail and if we take the case of iron ship, iron nail usually and in the maximum cases it submerges inside the water, it sinks. And iron ships we have seen, they float taking huge loads in them. So how is this possible? An iron nail made up of iron sinks in water but the ship does not. The reason is that a nail is solid and the density of iron is greater than the density of water. The weight of nail is more than the buoyant force on the water. So the nail sinks in the water. On the other hand, the ship is hollow and empty space contains air. This makes the average density of ship less than the density of water. Therefore, the ship floats on the water. Let us now understand related cases. This case is relating to the flotation of man. Any body is able to swim easily in the sea water, but not able to do so easily in river water. The reason is that the sea water contains salt and its density is more than the density of river water. The weight of a man gets balanced by the immersed part of the body in the sea water as compared to that in river water. That is why it becomes easier to swim in the sea water which contains soluble salts and due to which the density becomes very high and the body is able to balance itself. Let us move to the third case, that is flotation of ice on water. In this case, we will deal with two subcases, the flotation of ice and the icebergs. A piece of ice floats on the water surface with its 9/10th part inside the water and only 1/10th part outside the water. The reason is that the density of ice is 0.9 gram per centimeter cube while the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. And if you go by the SI system, the density of ice is 900 kilogram per meter cube whereas the density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Hence, whenever you will see ice, the 9/10th will be immersed inside and only 1/10th part will be visible outside. Dear children, if we talk about the case of icebergs, very huge and large pieces of icebergs float on the sea water, right? They are very dangerous for ships also. What is the reason? The reason is that the density of ice is less than the density of water. As we know, the density of ice is how much? 900 kilogram per meter cube, and density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Hence, the icebergs can easily float in seawater, right? Moving to the next case, children. The next case is the case of submarines. A submarine can be made to dive, or it can be made to rise also on the surface of water, as and when desired. The reason is that a submarine is a water-tight boat which can travel in water or underwater just like a ship. A submarine is provided with water tanks. We call them ballast tanks. To make the submarine dive, the tanks are filled with the water, so the average density of the submarine becomes greater than the density of water and it sinks down. To make the submarine rise to the surface of water, these tanks are emptied. This makes the average density of the submarine less than the density of water of the sea, so the submarine will rise easily and come to the top surface of the water. Dear children, let us study the flotation of whales. Whale is the largest mammal, right? The whale can sink or rise as per their will. Whale are sea animals. They have a special organ that is called swim bladder. In order to come to the surface of water to rise up, they fill the bladder with air. This decreases the average density of the whale's body, and so it becomes easy for them to rise to the surface of the liquid or the water. To dive inside, they fill the bladder with water, and this increases the heaviness of their body and they sink down. Coming to the last case to be discussed today, that is flotation of balloons. Dear children, balloons float in air. Air is a combination of many gases, and when you talk about balloons, balloon has only one gas filled at a time in them. That is either hydrogen or helium, right? A balloon filled with hydrogen or helium rises in the air very nicely to a greater height. The reason is that the density of these gases is less than the density of air. Therefore, the buoyant force experienced by the balloon due to air becomes greater than the weight of the balloon. Hence, the balloon rises up under the influence of the net upward force. I hope the video was informational. Thank you everybody for being a patient listener. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.